And good morning. This is Tuesday morning, January the 11th, 2022, and this is Linda Pearl from the One Quilting Circle live stream. New to the channel or just finding us, this is a continuation of a project that I've been doing for the better part of 2 years, and I am live every Tuesday noontime, and we talk about creativity and quilting and the creative lifestyle and a whole bunch of other things. I'd love it if you would join me. I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel, and there should be a little icon somewhere around here, and hit the notification bell so that we can get going and doing some of this. So this morning it is a bright but very, very, very cold day here in southern New Hampshire. It is not going to crack 10 degrees all day. It's a day to look outside at the sunshine. It was a great day to put dinner in the crock pot this morning, which I did. Stretching my creative muscle, not with needle and thread, but with onions and mushrooms. It all works because as I've been ruminating on this whole creativity issue that I seem to be having. I'm a creative person, but it doesn't always take the form of a needle and thread. Sometimes, and I have known many quilters in my lifetime that are beautiful gardeners. I'm good with. I get a pot of basil on the deck, and I'm a happy camper. This is not. I am not by any stretch of the imagination a gardener yet. But if this continues much longer, who knows? But I have found a lot of happiness and peace in my kitchen. One of the things that has been running in the background for the past year, or past, not year, several weeks, I'll shut that off, is something that we hadn't really talked about on the channel, but it's had a big impact, and got a whole lot bigger last week after I did the live stream last. Um, Mike in 22 months had actually last fall begun to look at our our social media feeds, and we had begun to see a lot of people traveling to a lot of the same place. And we kind of decided maybe it's time for us to venture outside and do this. So Mike and I had actually booked a trip to Aruba in the fall. Now, in the fall, we knew many people that were going. It looked wonderful. The idea of sitting on a beach, even if I have baked my way through the pandemic, was not necessarily unappealing. I was just like, I can't wait. We got Christmas season. Um, I don't want to know what that is. Um, got through the Christmas season. Some of the gifts were travel themed and such like that. And as I had started out putting my creative exercises together, I had started doing it with the idea that, well, I'm certainly not hauling a sewing machine with me, but I wanted to have something with me, likely a sketch pad and a pencil, so that I could continue to relax and just sort of doodle. And I figured it would all come out in the end. We'd be good. And I'd be back at the end of January and we'd be fine. Worked it out with all the clients, had all the schedules and such done. And then, like clockwork, things started to unwind. We came to the conclusion that it was a prudent to do. It's definitely would definitely have been a want to, not a need to. Um, and we just felt very strongly that the level of risk we would be exposing ourselves to was not warranted. So we were able to cancel that this week. Now, between canceling it and all the gyrations leading up to it, how do you get your test results in time? How do we pack? How do we get to what time do we have to get up to get to the airport for a 5:30 departure? All kinds of stuff. And the fact that I had not one YouTube, but basically three that I had to prepare before I could leave. Um, that was just a whole different level of stress. And every morning we woke up, and it was just not something that we were looking forward to. And then this past weekend, we finally realized, well, if we're going, I'm going to need to pack something. So I spent the better part of the weekend putting together clothes, um, that I could take with me that would work, and figuring out what I needed to do. Long story short, we have canceled our vacation. Um, we are not going. We are 68 days left till springtime, hanging on by a thread here. We have not made a practice in the past of going south for the summer. I mean, for the January months, but boy, is it a track. I can understand now how snowbirds come to be. So we have now reversed everything. Everything is, the clothes are put away. Uh, Refunds are coming through. Um, we're starting to think about what that might look like. And so now I get a chance to come out and play with, the creativity stuff. Well, the creativity stuff, some of it's still coming, and it will still work. Because the whole premise of this is I need to find a way to exercise my brain so that I can kind of get back into the habit of it. And a couple of things that happened in last week's blog post, I talked about the fact that I had been challenged to do basically a half an hour of art every day. Well, I will submit that baking bread can be an art form. And so I did that one day. But other than playing with drawing and doodles and pencils one day, this left brain, right brain discussion that I had come up with, and I created that at one point. That's one thing that I did. Um, I also, because I didn't really have a jumping off point, most of my pieces that are at a certain point have all gotten to the exact same part of the creative process. They're pieced, they're ironed, they're sitting in a closet waiting to be done. So I started digging those out because I really didn't have anything that was time related. And this is a comfort quilt. It's colorful. I thought the color would inspire me. It is something that came out of my scrap bin. And I actually have begun quilting this, and it will probably be done in the next day or so, which makes me feel good because it gives me a something in the month of January is going according to plan. So that's going to be um, going along that way. So this will be going to my creative Quilt Guild has a closet that we give to people from, and that will be done. That has been a perennial hit on my um, to-do list for a while, and it actually felt really good to get it out, look at it. I need to start somewhere. I need to practice. I just kind of need to schedule time in my calendar. And because I know I'm a morning person and I'm more creative in the morning, I need to find ways that I can do that. And now that I don't have the distraction of worrying about other things going on, this should hopefully go out. Now, this morning's creative endeavor is my dinner's already in the crock pot. My house smells good. So that's a good thing on a 8-degree day. But couple of things that I have done is I watched a video last week and it actually answered a question. And I will be playing with this between now and the next week that I do this. That has to do with a box of crayons. Yes, I'm in for low hanging fruit, but this is a way of working with it, of applying crayon to fabric and then pulling all of the wax out of it and just being left with the color. And so that is actually something I'm going to play with later on. Catherine Redford has been doing some work with some really, really fun stuff that she's been playing with this. That was the video I watched last week. And so I have the crayons, I have the fabric. That's another thing I need to kind of get out and get and just get myself hand stitching something because I think that's also it's a muscle that needs um, done. There is a deck of cards that has been on the market for a while, and it actually will be here within a couple of days. It is called Start Your Art Cards, and that is done by Lyric Kennard, who is an art quilter. And Lyric has put in a deck of card format, which I bought because I'm thinking, great, throw it in the travel case and I can, maybe I won't do all of them, but I will do some of them and take them with me to Aruba. Well, I'm still going to use them. I'm still going to play with them. I have to take that. So I am going to end the live stream early. I may come back online in a little bit, but I need to take that phone call. That's important. So I'm going to, this is the way January is going, guys. I am going to go back to my creative style and come back. There may be part 2 coming up.